Bobcats a winner tonight, 95-82. 5 players in double figures for Georgia College. As the Bobcats open up their campaign with a great win. We've got a little bit of a delay on the statistics because they're trying to, apparently something didn't balance out and the computer said you can't close this thing out until it balances. So Al Weston trying to fix it up here.
But really, as we said before, we were looking to see where we'd get some points from, and we mentioned Terrell Harris, who come up with 20 points, as we were kind of jokingly saying it'd be nice to get 20 points. I believe he scored, as you said, 20 points against Mars Hill earlier against us in a previous game.
Right.
But still, he had a nice night with 20 points, and last check was 7 rebounds. And here we go with the stats right here. He ended up with 20 points and 8 rebounds for Georgia College, and coming in second was Ryan Blumenthal, having a good night. 4-11 from the field, but 10-11 from the free throw line. 18 points, 4 rebounds. Robert Armstrong with his double-double, 15 points, 13 rebounds, and he bounced back rather well from the little bump in the nose early on. Georgia College really coming on strong in the second half with 66% shooting and 52.6 for the match, or for the game rather. And as for Clark Atlanta, just coming up 14, I had a couple guys in double figures, 14 going to Bingham, 13 going to Joy, 10 points going to Arnold, 13 going to Harper, and 12 points going to Green. And Georgia College doing a good job on defense with 31.8% of holding them off.
And for Clark Atlanta, they finally got some players into double figures. It took a long time, but they finally, with 82 points on the board, they put 5 players in double figures themselves.
One thing that looking at that Coach Sellers is probably going to be kicking himself about was the 17 turnovers. Really won the battle 17-18, but still you're not happy with that as a team. 43 rebounds to 53. They got out rebounded, but won it defensively with 29-19. And really good job overall by the Bobcats all around the board, active hands on defense, and came out fast-paced to start off the game.
Shooting-wise, the Bobcats wound up at 52.6% for the game, 30 out of 57. Just 2 of 11, though, on three-point shooting for 18%. And they hit 33 of 44 free throws. 44 attempts at the free throw line for 75%. Clark Atlanta shooting stats, they were less than 32%, 31.8 for the game, 27 out of 85. They hit 9 of 30 three-point shots for 30%. And they were 19 out of 29 at the stripe for 65.5%. So a total of 73 free throws taken tonight.
A lot of fouls going around. You had 22 for Georgia College and 32 for Clark Atlanta. Really kind of sloppy game, but when you got 2 players in double-digit free throws, it's Harris getting 12 and Blumenthal having 11, then you're going to get 44 attempts, and Georgia College doing a good job of really sealing the deal at 75% for the game, 33 of 44, and Clark Atlanta just 29 attempts. And Georgia College really doing a good job all across the board.
Robert Armstrong with his double-double, 15 and 13, led the Bobcats on the boards. Second high rebounding was Terrell Harris with 8. David Wagner had 7. For Clark Atlanta, 21 rebounds for Dwayne Bingham. He was all over the place. He had a double-double as well with 14 points to go with those 21 boards, but then it really dropped off after that. The next highest rebounder was Kelvin James with 6. Georgia College with 16 assists in the ball game, 4 by Harris, 4 by Thomas. 13 assists for Clark Atlanta. They were led in that category by Dwayne Bingham with 3. As you mentioned, 17 turnovers for GC. Clark Atlanta with 18 turnovers. Each team with 3 blocks. For GC, Armstrong had 2 blocks, though, by Terrell Harris. And a block apiece for 3 different Panthers, Bingham, Hughley, and Joy. Bobcats with 9 steals in the contest. Leading us there, Terrell Harris with 3 for Jeremy Newsom as well. And 10 steals for Clark Atlanta. They were led by a couple of Panthers as well. James Arnold and Dwayne Bingham had 3 each. So Georgia College comes away with a win, had over 1,000 folks in the stands. And I think with the bleachers pushed back at both the north and south ends, it made it kind of a nice, cozy atmosphere in here.
Yeah, had a nice crowd on hand tonight, over 1,000 in attendance, and really, you got one on the far, one behind the booth, or one behind us over here, and doing a good job of just kind of tightening up the ship a little bit, putting the concession stand down here, and you can really tell the fans were in the game, and maybe a new look for Georgia College trying to push it over, and a good showing for the Bobcats here tonight. Maybe get some fans to return for us.
Indeed so, and a win will get the fans to return as well, as nothing succeeds like success. And Coach Sellers is making his way out. Andrew, appreciate your help, as always.
I appreciate it. Always fun to have me on here.
All right, Andrew Gayweiler from the sports information staff at Georgia College helping us out tonight, and we appreciate his assistance, and we'll get a chance to talk with Coach Terry Sellers here in just a second as Georgia College wins its season opener tonight, and a final of 95-82 as the Bobcats almost got to the century mark right out of the gates here at Centennial. Well, Terry, I know we talked about where in the world we're going to find the points. Well, we found them from just about everywhere tonight, as you got 20 out of Terrell Harris and then 4 other players in double figures. So a pretty good showing offensively tonight.
Yeah, it was. You know, obviously the rebounding problem is still there. We got a guy with 21 rebounds, and so, gosh, we got so much work to do, and so we just got to get back in. Thank goodness we got this one game. I'm thankful. I'm glad we were able to win the game. I thought our initial defense was not so bad, but just way too many second chance opportunities for them, and you know, thank goodness we got some plenty of time to work on it.
Indeed so. It looked like the defense at the outset was pretty good. Did we get a little tired maybe toward the end of the game and get a little bit sloppy that way?
I don't know. You know, I guess at the end of a game you might be a little tired, but that's really, you got to be ready to go, and you got to be able to play through that, and you got to play. When you're out there playing, I don't understand getting tired. I mean, if you play in the game and you got your competitor and your basketball game's 40 minutes, I mean, you should be able to play 40 minutes as hard as you can go and not get tired.
I would think so.
I would too.
Great effort off the bench from Jeremy Newsom. I didn't know he had that in him. 5 out of 7 from the floor and 2 out of 4 and 3-point shooting. Wound up with a dozen points, and he kind of sparked us in a couple of spots.
He did, and I was proud of Jeremy because and he did that in junior college. He came off the bench and brought a lot of energy off the bench, and so I was proud of Jeremy because he's worked hard, and so we're gonna need that, and I think it was obvious to me tonight we need a little floor general back. You know, hopefully we can get Aaron back soon, and it will, I think, take care of some of those turnovers anyway.
But you survived without him, which is the good thing.
That's
you had
right.
Royal Thomas back in there running point. Terrell Harris had 4 assists, a couple of good plays from Brian Hill and Matt Paulney. Opportunity for other guys to step up at the point guard position.
Yeah, it was. We got Brian and some experience. First time that Matt's had a chance to get on the floor for us, and Matt's going to be fine. He just needs to get some playing time and grow into the kind of player we think he can be.
Well, Robert Armstrong got that shot to the snaz early on in the ball game and had to come out of the contest, but then he really came back strong. Had the double-double with 15 points and 13 rebounds, and he showed to me a little bit of more leadership qualities. Has he worked extra hard over the summer, and it looks like he's gotten a little bit stronger down there, Coach? Or is that not the case?
Well,
was I not seeing
I tell you, all I saw was every time I looked up, one of those big old guys was grabbing it, and Robert was falling out of bounds. The guy pushing him. But Robert did a good job because he had 13 rebounds. He didn't have as much help as he needed, but I can't fault Robert because you get 13 rebounds. It's hard to. Of course, I thought he should have had 23, but he's did a good job tonight. He made some shots tonight. I was proud of knocking down those 15-foot jump shots.
I was going to say, with Ryan Aquino helping you out now as an assistant coach, and he had that great range as well as a big man. Has he helped Robert with his range?
Well, I think he's helped Robert with his range. I think that's all the range we want to see, though. Tonight, about 15, 16 feet is a good range.
That's good enough.
That's good enough for Robert. Quino to shoot it from 30 feet in. So I hope Quino didn't give him too many ideas about that.
Okay.
But anyway, I was glad that Royal, gives us a great energy all the time, and good team win. Just so much work to do, but thankful we were able to come away with a win.
Good way to start
Thank
the
you.
season.
I appreciate it,
Thank
Scott.
you, Terry. Terry
Thanks.
Sellers as he picks up win number 340 here at Georgia College. And a 95-82 victory for the Bobcats as they open up their season with a win against Clark Atlanta. And they'll be back on the court Friday night. They'll take on Albany State at the Payne College Classic. That'll be a 6 o'clock tip-off at Payne College. We'll be back on the air on Saturday night at 7:50 or thereabouts as they'll take on the host Payne College Lions in Augusta. Final again, 95-82, the Bobcats a winner over Clark Atlanta. For Andrew Gayweiler, for our technical director, Benedict Esposito, I'm Scott McLeod. We thank you for joining us. You've been listening to Georgia College Basketball on Country 102.